right, y'all. This is Life of Logos podcast. I'm Colin.
I'm Ken.
We're getting into it today. I want to start with this one. I know you haven't seen the movie yet.
I have not.
But I got to say it, though. Talk about it. Lilo and Stitch.
Man. Sound like garbage to me.
You know, actually, it wasn't that bad.
Sound like garbage.
I'm going to tell you this. Here's the thing.
They set us up.
They did.
Okay? Because before you even get into it, they do it sometimes, right? And I think sometimes Disney does it on purpose, where they on purpose send out a bunch of leaks of what is and isn't in the story. And they might even do a whole bad movie because they didn't want to do it well in the first place, or they didn't know how to do it well. So they're just like, forget it. We'll just do Snow White and let it all be hot garbage. So the next one, expectations are low. And then you hear about it and you're like, oh, they took out this, they took out that. Oh, how could they? How could they? How could they? So you're already jaded and you're already like, man, this is stupid. Get this out of my face. And then you hear it's good and you're like, ain't no way it's good. Then you see out of spite and then it's good for real.
It's better than Snow White.
Oh, that's not saying it.
Here's the thing. At this point, we've studied storytelling.
Yeah.
Right, and how storytelling goes. Lilo and Stitch, 2003, OG Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. 2002, OG Lilo and Stitch. If you have studied how the storytelling works, conventions, characters, foils, pacing, story beats, it is actually an outrageously complex story.
Yeah.
It is, because you have to follow the storyline of Lilo and Stitch.
Separately but together.
Separately together. And Pleakley and Jamba.
Oh, yeah.
And Nani and Cobra Bubbles. Those are the three foils. Yeah. And you have to watch them, and they all have to hit the beats at the same time. That's why it's weird.
Right.
So there's a moment in the OG Lilo and Stitch where they go surfing. The Hawaiian roller coaster ride. Everybody loves the song. Right. Yeah. Yes. That is
stuck in my head.
Yeah. You know what's weird about that? It's stuck in the head. It's such a happy scene. That's the all is lost moment. That's the all is lost moment for everybody. Because they go surfing, Stitch falls off, he drags Lilo down. That's when we know, hey, Stitch can't be good. Right? They get out, Cobra Bubbles is there, he's like, hey, you just lost everything, I'm coming to pick up Lilo.
Yeah.
That's the all is lost moment. It's also the moment where Pleakley and Jumbo get fired. They failed their mission at the same point in the movie.
So lots coming around.
Right, and then you have the third act people coming in, which really, what's his name? Captain Gantu is there for the third act. Yeah. He's essentially the entire thing for the third act. Give me a start on him in a second. But the reason that story is so complex, and not complicated, because it flows super smooth. But it's so complex because Stitch has to go from being bad to being good.
Yeah. Right?
He has this absolute bad moment where he almost kills Lilo.
Yeah.
Right? Lilo is just trying to be accepted the entire time. And that's the most family-oriented scene right there. Right before she
wants family. I finally have it. I finally have a friend. I've been looking for a friend this whole movie, and someone who gets me and accepts me. Now I have, they just try to murder me.
Yeah, on accident. Now, that scene is completely different than the new movie.
Really?
It's completely different.
I bet it is.
Yeah. We'll get into that in a second. But it's almost as a person who studies storytelling, you can watch Lilo and Stitch and actually take notes.
Yeah.
And the story that we're going to get into in a minute is kind of like that because it has multiple plot lines that all are happening at the same time. So everybody has to hit their catalyst, same time. Yeah. Everybody hits their midpoint, same time. Everybody hits their all is lost, same time. And that's a very difficult thing to do. As opposed to like a Lion King, as much as I love Lion King. You only have to have that arc for Simba, which is very different. It's not as complex of a story. Getting into the new one, I have two qualms. I really have three.
Okay.
The first of which
is qualms for y'all.
I don't really want to call them problems, but they're qualms. I think the new movie actually is not bad on its own.
It's all right. Okay.
If you didn't know about the movie, if you didn't know about OG Lilo and Stitch, this new movie,
candy.
Yeah, then the new movie wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
I think you should have called it Nani. I think you should just.
I'd have watched it then. I would have watched it opening day if it's called Nani.
What her name is? Sydney Audulong, whatever. She's pretty. I'm not gonna lie.
First things first, rest in peace on Phil. I'd have been straight there.
Shoot.
Right there.
And I say that because Nani's the character that changes the most in the new story.
Really?
Yeah. So in the other one, Lilo, she was unhinged at the very beginning. I'm feeding a tuna fish. I'm beating up Myrtle Evans. And then by the end of it, she's talking to Stitch. And when you get to the third act, all right, Stitch, you need to go. Very calm, very flat line.
All got to be a Lilo sometimes.
Yeah.
We all need a Lilo moment.
Right.
Where you got to recognize somebody trying to drown you and just let them
go.
Let them do their thing.
And spoiler alert, in the OG movie, Jumbo takes down Stitch. Stitch is holding on the Lilo. And that's why she goes down.
Right.
In the new movie, they make Stitch get denser the longer he's in water. So he's just holding on her and he drives her down. It's different.
What do you do?
It's different.
Retaining water?
I guess.
That's ridiculous. Okay.
It gets more ridiculous.
Making up stuff at this point.
It's just different. Yeah. Nani does change the most in that story. So she just called it Nani. She also got the most screen time.
In a movie that should be called Lilo and Stitch, you would think it would focus on primarily one of them.
Yeah, or you'd expect them to change more, right? Yeah. So Stitch, he's bad, but he's more like comically bad than destructive bad in the new one.
Okay.
And Lilo, even though she wasn't as unhinged, she was just like naughty. Yeah. And then when Stitch shows up, she actually encourages him to be more naughty.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of change. That's a qualm with love. There is a whole Lilo and Stitch canon. And it is huge. It's actually a bigger canon than Lion King.
I guess so. Yeah, when you add the Lilo and Stitch, Stitch and Leroy, you got
Lilo and Stitch 2.
You got Lilo. I'm forgetting Lilo and Stitch 2.
And
there's just Stitch. There's the show.
I think that's it. That's 4 movies and a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only thing that comes close to that is Toy Story. That's 4 movies.
They need to stop it.
They do.
Wait.
Yeah, I think that last one was going to be the last one. But there's 4 Toy Story movies. There's not another thing in the Disney universe that has 4 movies.
Yeah.
Stitch is the only one.
Yeah.
It's got 4 movies and a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
This movie disrespected the canon. Disrespected it.
But we've learned time and time again when Disney has IP, they don't give a shit about canon. They don't care about story continuity.
Star Wars.
I was literally about to say Star Wars out of my bleepity bleeping mouth. Okay? My bleepity freaking bleepity bleepity scoopity mouth. Okay? They'll take it. I hate it so bad. It makes me not even want to watch Star Wars. Right?
It's a different thing.
And they'll take it and they'll just recreate characters. If you watch The Acolytes, they had a scene with Keanu Mundi in there. The dude with the pointy head, he look like got a do-rag that's loose.
Oh, yeah.
He got the blue lightsaber. He got like the vest joint. He look like a librarian, low key. But to me, long-haired librarian should not be there. He's hundreds of years before then, but he's just chilling with the acolytes, just chilling, just in the mix.
I know.
That's like Ben Franklin being here and we all being cool with it. Nobody losing their wig. Because Ben Franklin's here right now. We should be like, what are you doing here among us?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Bill and Ted's Radical Adventure, whatever it is. I said that wrong, but Bill and Ted's.
Yeah, canon. Gotta have it.
You messed up the canon because the canon is predicated on 2 things. First off, Gantu is in there for the entire canon.
Big wellhead man.
Right. Yeah. And then Jumbo.
Don't disrespect my boy.
Yeah, Captain Gantu.
As a fellow, he's in the group.
He is amongst the
respect on his name.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Jumbo is actually a driving character after the movie.
Yeah.
He is. So like the Stitch only happens because Jumbo goes off the rails and he gets taken by.
This is a scientist that made Stitch.
And he needs to be in the story.
Yeah.
If you take him away at the end of the story, there's no rest of the canon.
Yeah.
That's one of my qualms.
There's no Leroy.
But there's no Leroy. There's no Angel. There's none of that. None of that happens.
Forget about Angel. Yeah.
She only has 1 episode. She's very popular, but she's only 1 episode.
Pink joint. Yeah.
So you mess with the canon. And I get it. If you want to do it differently and say, it's a multiverse. And there's like the live action universe and that one, maybe. But listen, we're all using the multiverse to just get out of our mistakes at this point.
Explain the multiverse. If you're just sitting here, a qualm I have is with the writers who are like multiverse, but you don't establish the fact that there is a multiverse. The only people I give a multiverse pass to is Marvel.
As I should.
That's it, because they've established that there's a multiverse, and with that, okay, cool. I'm with you. There's a multiverse. I have to wrap my brain around there are other iterations of these characters and other different things happen.
True.
Cool. But like you can't be like, you know what? I'm gonna put a multiverse right here because I want to do this, and this was already done. I don't care. I'm not gonna go back and reread that old script or that whatever. This is my vision, and it's not necessarily. It shouldn't necessarily be just your vision. It should be the vision of the originator,
exactly,
that you're continuing along and keeping that same stream of consciousness for the audience that's already familiar with the work.
Right.
What you doing?
This is the problem. It needs to stay with the same stream of work.
Yeah.
Because if you look at OG Lilo and Stitch, the theme. This is, again, why do we tell stories? And part of it is to show change, but most of the time it's to communicate a theme.
Yeah.
The theme from OG Lilo and Stitch. Ohana means family. Yeah. Family means no one gets left behind or forgotten.
Yeah. Theme quoted.
That's a theme. That's a good theme.
Theme quoted.
Yeah. What is the theme in the new one? You don't know yet.
Ohana.
No.
Just saying it fun.
Ohana.
Ohana. Yeah.
Yeah. The theme
here, like you saying Hanukkah.
Of course.
That's what it feels.
The theme in the new movie is you have to be able to let go of the people you love to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That is the exact opposite theme. So at the beginning, finds out Nani is trying to go to UC San Diego for marine biology, even though the best marine biology schools are all in Hawaii. Anyway, so she has to let go of Lilo so she can pursue her dream.
You gotta let go of your little orphan sister to fulfill your dream?
Fast forward to the end of the movie.
She gotta give up her little sister
to go pursue her dream.
To go pursue her dream.
They give her a portal gun, which is not in the movie at all. But there's
a portal gun, Rick and Morty.
Exactly.
Rick and Morty abandonment. What?
It's a stretch, you know what I'm saying?
Forget your family. F your little sister. It doesn't matter. You just go off into the wind and go play with dirt. And she's like a third grader, maybe?
She's 6. They made that clear in the movie.
You have a first grade,
maybe
ish little sister, and you're like, no, I'm sorry, dog. I know you just started school, but I'm trying to turn up and throw some at UC San Diego. That is crazy. I'm trying to listen to swag surf while your little sister is about to drown in the ocean.
Yeah, there's a lot of drowning scenes in there.
You swag surfing, but your sister drowning literally with an alien?
Yo, so you did see the movie. That's how it is.
And like a literal alien, not anyway. But
spoiler alert. At the very end of the movie, Stitch and Lilo end up in the water the second time. And because Stitch gets heavier now in the water.
With water.
Yeah. She's trying to swim up, and he pushes her away so she can live. Which is the entire theme of sometimes you gotta let go of what you love in order to survive.
Oh, okay. So maybe he retains water so that he can plug up the plot holes.
Maybe.
Right? So that the ship doesn't sink.
Ooh, there's a huge plot hole there because he is down there totally conscious. He could have just got up and walked along the bottom of the ocean, but he didn't. Because Nani comes to save him and then carries him back because we want her to look cool. And she does look cool.
So is she strong or something? Like, how can she? Not really. Well, how much water did he retain?
We don't know.
Just more than a 6-year-old can handle or carry.
I mean, 6-year-olds can't carry very much.
And a gallon of milk. That's
true.
But so Stitch weighed. So the little girl almost died because the alien weighed as much as a jug of milk, and then the sister came, poured a jug of milk, alien out the ocean, and then the plot progresses.
Because then Lilo tells Nani that she needs to go. Stitch let go of Lilo. Lilo lets go of Nani when she goes to school.
So this 6-year-old, this emotionally deep 6-year-old. First of all, I got the nerve to tell a grown person because if you go to college, you gotta be grown, okay? Mm-hmm. To an extent, you're not grown, but you legally grown. Mm-hmm. Get out of here!
I want you to go. Yep.
Get out of here, dog. That's crazy. I know you're about to abandon me, but before you abandon me, you get out of here.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And the thing is, truthfully, this is going to sound a little weird to me to say, I think you do need to understand boundaries. If you need to go, you got to go. And know that your family's going to be there. And as the person in the family, you kind of got to let them go because they need to fly. I get that.
Yeah.
That doesn't remove the concept of Ohana means family. Family knows no one gets left behind. Until you get to the point in the movie where the entire point is you have to let them go so they can leave you behind. They're exactly the opposite. They're opposites.
It makes sense.
That's my point. The three of them.
Putin, not Putin.
Yes.
Putin, not Putin.
You left the theme. And they could have tied the theme together to being like, listen, if you could have said this one line, the entire thing would have fixed it. We will always be family, even if we're separated. Fix the entire movie.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You found out one line. You got to count out all of Gantu as opposed to just adding 6 words. Gantu is the rest of the thing. You need Gantu. He's in every episode.
It's in like damn near every scene.
He is.
Like every, it's like Gantu, whether he's reporting to the one alien in the mothership, or whether he's in transit, whether he's talking to somebody, he's always there.
True.
He's always there.
He's always there. You know what else? That ugly duckling scene where like Stitch is lost in the woods.
Oh yeah.
Gone.
Yo.
Gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm lost. Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that deep, like emotional, like you're losing your family.
Yeah.
We're already on for 18 minutes.
So in that, okay, we've established that Lilo and Stitch did the best they could. Okay, Disney did the best they could. Do you think they did that? Before I progress this, do you think they did the best they could, or do you think again like this was a purposeful setup? We're gonna bait and switch you so that you think it's gonna be way worse than it actually is, but give you just enough to watch it and maybe watch it a second time. But it's still not gonna be great. But it's something.
I think unfortunately Disney is in this. And again, they're supposed to stop the live action stuff.
Thank God.
I think they're in this weird rut where they feel like they need to tell different stories for different generations. But the problem is, and different generations are going to value different things. I get it. Here's the problem. People are still people. Yeah. If you go back to the theme of Lion King, it's take responsibility. The theme of Beauty and the Beast, beauty is not skin deep. Right. You go to Aladdin, it's about being true to yourself. Yeah. Those are timeless. Why do you have to change the story?
But again, like when you talk about like those things, you think about like old literary works. You think about the Bible. Mm-hmm. How does the Bible resonate when people read it?
It's people are people.
People are people. When you read Shakespearean tales, right? Whether you extend the whereof art thou scoops de dupes, right, or not, you can get the English Standard Version of New International Version, NIV Shakespeare. Yeah. Sure. But whatever, you can get the plain English and you'd read it and you'd be like, oh, this really resonates with me, right?
Where out there, man? Where you at?
Where you at, though? Pull up to the squad.
I don't care if it's 9:59.
On the dot, I'm in a drop top, cruising the street. I got a real, no. But yeah, so all these things are very in tune with human nature and on the nose for it, which is why hundreds of years later, we're still reading these same works over and over and over again. So in that, you can highlight different things, I think, but that doesn't mean that you need to change the actual thing or you need to change the overall structure of something.
True.
Just to make another point.
No, exactly.
Just highlight something different. It's okay. Right. But still keep the core.
Keep the core. And then again, we've talked about this, where this is now becoming extreme through these episodes. What God are you serving? Yeah. If you're going to say, hey, we're going to take the same IP and change it a little bit to make more money, God's money. Yeah. If you're trying to tell us the truth, you're God's truth. And then this is all evidence of trying to serve the latter.
Right.
And this was like, as much as I love Disney, I think they're heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Because they not prioritize what was important.
Which is a problem that we'll fix. And we can keep going or we can transition this.
Yeah.
But if you were to make a story, how would you do it?
The Lilo and Stitch story or a story?
A story.
I think we're going to talk about that in the next episode.
In the next episode.
Until then.
So until then, I've been kidding.
I've been calling.
It's been like logos.
Let's get it.
We did that backwards.
Hey, it works.
It's back.